Get in on the action and make your bet with Sports Interaction. Summer is heating up with baseball. Can the Jays make a run at the division?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, but you can bet before the game, whichever way you think. Live and in play in all your favorite teams and hot dog contests. Woo! Woo! SportsInteraction.com/STPN or download the app to get started. It's 19 plus. And what do you have to do, Steve?
Please play responsibly. Sorry. Who is in on Erik Karlsson?
Penguins.
Why?
Well, I think the idea is that you bring more excitement in and you run with it. Like Karlsson's 33, Crosby, Malkin, Letang all over 35. You're probably got to move Jeff Petrie, who's fine, still a good player. And according to what I could find, if this deal were to happen, it would have to involve a third team, obviously, to take on the salary.
Yeah.
Right? And the Penguins would have to give up a lot to do that. But if the reports are to be believed, it looks as though San Jose might be willing to retain as much as $4 million a year.
Wow.
So now it's an extreme example, but Erik Karlsson at $7 million is all of a sudden a lot easier. Now, what happens if you get a team to take $2 million in there as well? Then you've got Erik Karlsson at $5 million, and that's a lot more palatable. You could make that work if you're Kyle Dubas. And if that happens, I don't know how it would happen. If it happens...
Wait, it can't get down to 5 because I can't more than 50%
if you bring a third team in...
No, but you can't... Isn't it you can't retain more than...
With one team.
50% of a contract?
With one team.
Right.
Oh, and then... So you can do...
You could do 50 and 50. It's like what the Leafs did with Foligno.
Yeah, the Leafs got Foligno for a quarter of his salary because the
I think
Blue Jackets retained 50. He was traded to the Sharks, who retained
25
50% of that.
Oh, okay. So 25 of the total. So you can get up to 75%.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it would be complicated. Dubas has done this deal before, though, as we kind of pointed out there. If that happens...
He's done it with the Sharks.
If that happens, that is going to be a crazy team to watch. I don't know what they'd look like.
Letang and
Karlsson.
Sens fans, here's what I want to know. I'm sure you
Pens fans.
No, Sens.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm sure you hate seeing like an old Sen go to the Leafs. Mm-hmm. Would Karlsson going to the Penguins not kill you?
Oh, man.
2017.
Oh, man.
He had the Conn Smythe wrapped up. Like, if the Sens had gone to the final that year and lost, he still might have won it. And he then joins the team that beat him in double OT Game 7. Ooh. That one would sting.
Obviously, it would be very, very complicated to get that deal done. So here's my other question. And this is a guy that we're not hearing a lot about. If they miss on Karlsson, why wouldn't they go after Matt Dumba? Ooh. He's an unrestricted free agent. We know the Coyotes are all over him, but I think he's holding out for maybe an opportunity with a team that's more competitive right now. And if they can move some salary out, like if they have whatever that third team is, if Kyle Dubas is concocting a 3-team trade here, he could still go to them and say, "Listen, will you take some salary off? Is it Jeff Petrie? Is it whoever? Just I don't know enough or know what Kyle Dubas wants with the Penguins roster, but can we move enough salary off so that we can fit Matt Dumba under this?" And the acquiring team gets and I keep using Jeff Petrie, but he seems like the odd man out. You get
oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
You know what I mean? So Dubas would still have, even if the Karlsson deal falls through, probably a third party worked out that he could still use and pay the price and then bring in his guy. And I think Matt Dumba is a guy the Leafs under Dubas were very interested in acquiring, but the price was always too high.
Never happened. And he's not afraid to deal with Minnesota, and he's done 3-way deals with Minnesota as well. I'm just throwing that out there because of
GM relationships actually do factor into this because a lot of GMs don't talk to each other.
Right. Okay. So Penguins fans, this is important. Now, the asterisk on the information I'm going to give you is, Dubas might not have necessarily made every deal that Dubas did. Mm-hmm. Right. He has assistant general managers Brandon Pridham, Haley Wickenheiser, or had them in Toronto, but Doug Armstrong of the St. Louis Blues joined Adam on Agent Provocateur, and he talked about GMs basically only speaking to like 6 people. Now, that's not true for all GMs. Brad Treliving seems to deal with basically everybody. Mm-hmm. But Dubas through his time in Toronto, primarily dealt with a few teams very heavily.
Yes.
Off the top of my head, I believe Minnesota was in there. Columbus was in there. For some reason, Ottawa was in there, which was very surprising because the Leafs are in that division. And the number one trade partner was the St. Louis Blues. We already know the St. Louis Blues were up to some big business
They were.
this summer. I feel like you don't just go from wanting to trade Torrey Krug to just simply not doing it.
That's interesting. Same style.
Is there something there? Is that something Torrey Krug would do?
Right.
Because the reason
I don't know. You playing with Crosby seems okay.
Oh, here's a little bit of drama. Nah, this wouldn't happen. But I'll throw it.
Just throw it out there anyway. Who
Fuck it.
cares?
What if Torrey Krug says no to a trade to the Flyers and then goes to the Penguins? That'd be fun. That'd be pretty cool. Or he just
Philly
goes to
fans would never let him forget that.
he goes to another team involved. It does feel like he's a big move that could still happen if he chooses for it to happen.
If they're going after a defenseman, you wonder why they did the Ryan Graves deal. You know, it's like if they could have held on that if they're trying to do Karlsson. I like Graves as a partner.
I don't
with
mind
Letang.
Graves. He's just not that long. I
guess if you make that move, you got to make the subsequent move to move somebody out and then bring in this other defenseman, whether it's Torrey Krug, Karlsson, or Dumba.
I just bought out Jeff Petry's contract on Cap Friendly, $3 million this year, $4.5 million next year, which
That ain't happening.
that would wipe out the increase.
Do they have another buyout window? Do they have anybody filing for arbitration? If not, then they don't.
Oh yeah, couldn't they buy him out in August? Isn't there a
No, they would need somebody on their team to file for arbitration to get access to the second buyout window.
such a fucking
Also, with the
complicated
the double 50% retained, you know when that happened?
when?
With Ryan O'Reilly.
Yes.
Oh,
And Minnesota was involved.
Yeah. We didn't bring that.
It
That was
St. Louis and Minnesota. It was two of his favorites.
so I'm looking at this team. Okay, so you got Jake Gensel, one more year at $6 million, 28 years old. I think you keep that.
Sorry, the Penguins do have a player at
There you go.
arbitration. They have Drew O'Connor.
Okay, so you could.
okay. So they're gonna get access to the second buyout window. So if you wanted to buy out Jeff Petry, you could.
You got
They ain't doing it.
Brian Rust. You got Brian Rust at $5.125 million for the next 5 years. He's 31. Michael Granlund, who I know that Dubas loved, but that was in 2019.
That's a while ago, man.
He's got 2 more years at $5 million. Ricard Raquel has 5 more years at $5 million. He's like, I'm looking at these numbers too: 31, 31, 30, 32 for Riley Smith, who just signed there. Jeff Carter's got another year at 3.125. You know, you got to wonder if that contract. I'm going to just buy that out. You save $2 million.
Could it be that Kyle Dubas inherited a colossally bad situation?
Dude,
Oh, he did.
we talked about this. I was
Bad.
like, wait a sec. This doesn't look fun at all.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not his fault for struggling to.
Oh, it's the team as it's
fix-
currently constructed is not his fault.
Right. He's trying to fix this roster that's broken, and he's been there for like a month.
He's not inheriting the 2017 Penguins,
No.
right? Like it's 2023, and they have actually struggled for a while now.
No, he has a fucking awful situation. He's got to make it a lot better very quickly. So
They don't have a whole ton of assets.
no.